I'm Vinnie Colaiuta, and these are the new Paiste Formula 602 Modern Essentials. When we first started talking about this, we thought that the 602 alloy would be the best bet for the cymbal project. Aside from Paiste's legendary ability to make consistent cymbals on any alloy that they use, we felt that the 602 alloy was something special and that it needed to be further developed in that line without adulterating what the 602 is about. They're not something that I personally wanted to have just for me, or that I had this selfish idea. My input was really to have something that I thought was valid and that they also had a similar idea on, and to work as a team to have cymbals that would just broaden the spectrum of what's available and usability for drummers. These cymbals are like the people's cymbal. We were looking for something that was a valid voice that had broad applications. And we believe that we found it. And so we hope that you'll agree with us. I went to Switzerland and met with sound development 3 times on 3 separate trips. It was an amazing experience doing this. And every step of the way, these guys were 2 steps ahead of me. The process was a really creative, fun process, and watching these guys work was an amazing learning experience for me. And when I went to the factory the 3rd and final time, there were an array of ride cymbals that were final prototypes. I think that these guys realized that they knew that they had the one. As I played the final prototypes, I went to the 4th one, and when I hit it once, and I dropped my stick. What a beautiful tone. What a beautiful tone. I like the idea of being able to crash on a ride like a lot of drummers do. So I thought this thing is more of a ride crash than it is a crash ride, which is a great thing. These hi-hats have a great feel to them. They're just chunky enough, a little chocolatey, articulate, and they're quick. They're not too mushy, they're not clangy, they don't have any obnoxious overtones. They just have a real nice color to them that fits perfectly in with the rest of the line of cymbals. We wanted the cymbals to be something that were not necessarily a specialty item. We didn't want them to be a niche kind of an instrument. We wanted them to fulfill something that was in between the original 602s and the signature traditionals. You have to then look at each instrument in the set of instruments and see how they're going to fit together in a set of cymbals. And the crashes also follow suit and they fall in line. The 16 particularly surprised me because they managed to make it so that it's not too bell-like or too splashy sounding. And as they increase in size, especially with the 20-inch crash, you have this huge, big, warm, beautiful sounding crash cymbal. And the balance between all the cymbals is amazing. The splashes were a huge surprise for me. They're, when you put the whole set of cymbals up and you play them, it's like they're pre-mixed already. The splashes just sit in a certain place in the mix of the cymbals. It's like they mix themselves. China was another one where it's like, well, what are we going to do with this China? And they did it. I think initially I had a different idea about the China and what I thought it might have been. But at a few points in the process, I told them, I said, you know, you guys, I'm going to step back on this one. And I told them unreservedly, I said, I'm a little bit at a loss. And they said, it's okay, we got it. And they did. They had it, no problem. We didn't want these cymbals to make it seem like the original 602s are some relic from the past and that these are more relevant for now. It's just kind of an extension, if you will, or another branch on the same tree that has bore fruit that needs to happen. At some point, Eric and I spoke on the phone, and we were kind of beating our heads against the wall, thinking about what to call these things. And that was really, really interesting as well. And this went on for a couple of days and some lengthy phone calls. At one point, I think Eric and I were on the phone for about an hour and a half, and it was really late, and I was somewhere in Europe, and we were sending emails back and forth and going through this list of names. At one point, we were saying, okay, well, they have this characteristic, that's true. And he blurted it out. He said, Modern Essentials. And I just went, that's it! And that's kind of how it happened, you know. They're the Modern Essentials. Paiste, Formula 602, Modern Essentials.